Hey guys, welcome to the Nightcity Netrunner. Today I'm bringing you 10 things you should know before starting a new game in Nightcity. Before we begin, I suggest you consider subscribing and you can unsubscribe later on if you're not interested. That being said, let's get straight into the video. We are all well acquainted with cutscenes as they're present in every single game these days. This is how it usually goes. A video, which is pre-rendered most of the time, plays by itself and you just sit around doing nothing. That is not the case for Cyberpunk 2077. Cutscenes in Cyberpunk, you can look around, walk around, scope environment, and who knows what you might find. Weapon carrying dude closing in on you when you're talking to someone in a shady place, or something that may steer the following gameplay in a completely different direction. During the quest Nameless, Yennefer reanimates a corpse, and the conversation you have afterwards with her, the response of Yennefer will change depending on what sequence you choose the dialogue.
Nice of you to be so concerned for the corpse. Much more than you were for me.
Yen, are you alright?
I'm splendid. I'd feel even better if I hadn't had to remind you to ask.
So we can expect that dialogue is emphasized on heavily, as it was in Witcher 3 as well. During a conversation, you can walk around, pull out a weapon, although it might not be the best idea. You even have a choice with which dialogue you want to begin a conversation with someone. I don't think I need to mention this, but you should pay attention to what a character is saying. You might open up a path or close one if you don't do what they tell you. You guessed it right, another Witcher 3 reference. Remember the time where Yennefer asked your help with the djinn? It was the quest The Last Wish. During that time, if you thought, I'll do it later and kept on with your main quest, you'd upset her.
Yen, what happened back there in Skellige?
Please, Geralt. There's nothing left to say.
Yen.
No more. Please.
And lose any chance to romance her.
Finally burn this piece of junk.
My heart couldn't take it.
Before you say we know about him and the Keanu Reeves, did you pay attention to this?
He already tried to take over your body. You know, just for a little while.
Hear me, asshole? A bullet to the fucking brain! If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
Yes, that might be possible, but we can only find out by pissing him off. But before you agree with everything he asks you to do in order to not piss him off, do you really think his interests are also your best interest? That he can be trusted with your life? He's a terrorist who wanted to blow up half a city to prove a point, and half just for fun. If you didn't know, you probably should subscribe. There's another thing about him. We can't say with reasonable certainty that you'll be able to play as Johnny Silverhand at certain points in Quest, but since CDPR is notoriously famous for the decision-based outcomes, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that this may be limited to specific choices and dialogue paths. I know we're used to pressing a key and getting into vehicles thanks to GTA, and they too thought that it wasn't right. So they included carjacking and window breaking animations, but have you actually thought how difficult it is to steal a car? Let alone a cybercar with an anti-theft measure and protocols? Seriously, you thought you could break into this? Like it's a piece of cake? And obviously, throwing someone out requires a lot of muscle power. So yeah, it's very likely that both of these are locked behind skill trees. There might be some alternatives to discover the Nightcity. Perhaps you'll utilize and even enjoy subway or taxi ride more if you can't afford a car and steal one either. Since we're talking about cars, let's take a closer look at them as well. There are about 29 car models in total, and thanks to gazillion super expensive cars GTA keeps pushing on their website, people are concerned if there are enough cars so it doesn't get monotonous. CDPR has said that there are different variants, like you'll get not so fancy car in Badlands, but the same car in the city would be high tech and not only will look different but will feel different while driving. But to be honest, I think we shouldn't be comparing GTA and Cyberpunk. They are not cut from the same rock, to say the least. You've probably heard this times and times over, so let's not dwell on this longer than it needs. There's hell of a customization available, but you can only choose from preset faces, because probably CDPR didn't want people doing this. Size of genitals is customizable, but you won't be seeing that. If you're thinking, unless I use a third-person mod just to see sex in a game where devs don't want you to, I must say, indeed sir, you are a very naughty person. Perhaps the point of customization is to show off your cool jacket that you just bought. People in multiplayer who don't give a damn, just like they don't in real life. We're used to ordering around our followers thanks to games like Skyrim and Fallout, like we own them. But in Nightcity it's quite different. Piss off your follower and he might not be entirely eager to help you next time. It's probably a good idea not to piss off your fixers as well, just like you try really hard to not piss off your boss. And as I mentioned before, if you don't treat them well, if you don't listen to them, they might not give you information that happens to initiate a side quest next time. I know at this point you'll be thinking, if I can't drive fancy cars when I please and I have to deal with NPCs as if they were humans, why is it called Cyberpunk and not Sims 2077? I wanted to include gangs of the Nightcity in this video, but they deserve a video of their own owing to their rich background story and strengths and weaknesses, so I'll just briefly mention which districts they control. City Center. Well, no gangs operate here, which is quite obvious, and if you don't know why it's obvious, you really should consider subscribing, because it will be covered in an upcoming video which is right around the corner. Miscellaneous factions. Nightcity Police Department. It has several divisions which are patrol, other standard divisions such as investigation that has vice, robbery, homicide departments. However, there are other tactical divisions as well which you should be wary of. These are SWAT, Max Tac, Riot, and NetSac. SWAT is exactly how you're thinking. Heavily armed and armored guys with custom trucks. They come in teams consisting of 10 members, so if you're causing trouble, keep an eye out for them. Max Tac are called in for cyber psychos, which is probably equivalent to going on a rampage in GTA 5 and getting army on your back. You catch a glimpse of them during a job with Jackie. Cyber psychos will probably be able to accept contracts on them. NetSac track down the most dangerous and daring criminal netrunners, so fellow netrunners beware, because they have their own netrunners who will track you and be on you in no time. This is more of a teaser for an upcoming video where we'll take a closer look at Nightcity itself. Where the hardest place of the city and where you'd get chewed up right away if you let your guard down. So stay tuned fellow netrunners, cause a lot more is coming up.